Begin in near silence with a slow and deliberate tone that invites the viewer into a world that appears simple at first glance, yet holds immense, carefully managed potential, describing the small pond as it exists before intervention, still, reflective, surrounded by raw earth, shaped by nature but waiting for purpose. Emphasizing that this quiet body of water is not merely scenery, but the foundation of a controlled biological system. Then gradually shift the voice to acknowledge the unseen planning behind it, the understanding of water, soil, sunlight, and time that transforms an ordinary depression in the ground into a productive ecosystem. Move patiently into the preparation phase, detailing how the pond is drained not with urgency, but with intention, allowing stagnant water to leave slowly, exposing the pond floor layer by layer, revealing mud, organic residue, and the history of what once lived there. Stressing the importance of drying as a reset process where harmful organisms are neutralized and balance is restored. Linger on the application of lime as a precise act rather than a rough task, explaining how this simple mineral adjusts pH, enriches the soil, and creates a safe foundation for life. Highlighting that this step is invisible once water re-enters, yet critical to everything that follows. Continue by describing the moment water re-enters the pond, not as a refill, but as a rebirth, with clean water spreading evenly, depth increasing gradually, oxygen dissolving, temperature stabilizing, and the pond transitioning from an empty basin into a living environment. Reinforcing patience as a central theme, noting that rushing this stage compromises stability. Move into the introduction of fingerlings with a heightened care in the voice, portraying them as fragile but valuable units of future production. Floating in sealed bags as temperatures equalize, the pause before release serving as a reminder that successful farming depends on respect for biological limits. Then describe the release itself as subtle yet profound, tiny movements disappearing into open water, marking the true beginning of the farming cycle. Shift into daily management with a steady, rhythmic cadence, describing feeding not as throwing pellets, but as observing behavior, timing, appetite, and response, emphasizing how feed floating on the surface becomes a diagnostic tool revealing fish health, stress, and growth. Explain water monitoring as an ongoing conversation with the pond, where color, clarity, smell, and test results guide decisions, reinforcing that small ponds demand attention rather than automation, and that success comes from consistency rather than complexity. Extend into the growth phase with a long, reflective tone, describing weeks turning into months as fish gain weight unseen below the surface, energy converting from feed into muscle, scales forming, immune system strengthening, while the pond itself evolves with algae control, oxygen cycles, and microbial balance. Underline that this period tests discipline, as results are not immediately visible, yet every skipped feeding, every ignored water issue leaves a lasting impact. Gradually build anticipation as harvest approaches, shifting the voice to acknowledge the accumulation of value beneath the water, the realization that time, care, and restraint have compounded into tangible yield. Then describe harvest day not as chaos, but controlled intensity. Nets moving methodically, water responding with force, fish surfacing in concentrated motion, capturing the transformation from living system to market-ready product. Slow the voice again as the fish are lifted, sorted, and laid out, describing their weight, shine, and uniformity as proof of correct management rather than luck, emphasizing that this final image represents more than food. It represents efficiency, sustainability, and self-reliance, achieved through understanding natural processes. Conclude with a reflective, grounded tone that returns to the pond itself, now calm once more, water settled, cycle complete.